good now. Hey y'all, it's Balaji. I just really came in the camera like, what's up? But I have Alex and because I want to say it the Nigerian way, which is Nkosi. It just the part comes out, but Cozy.
There you go.
I got you, Nkosi. I'm gonna say it that way because my head is going to Ghana. No, actually, it is Nigerian. Was it Nigerian? It's from. Yes. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're about to get started in like 2 seconds. So give us a second. We'll be here. And then I will go to In Touch on here. If y'all have any questions, make sure you drop the questions in. Hey, Smith.Charles R. What's going on? Okay, I hear the music. Not yet. Well, that's a theme song. You good? Hey. Good evening. Happy Thursday. This is Balaji with Goddess Talk. How y'all doing? I have two amazing guests today. We got Alex and Nkosi. Cozy. Say it again for me, Cozy.
There's multiple ways to say it.
Okay. How do you want...
Nkosi.
Nkosi. Just correct me, okay? Because I want to make sure I get your name right. But Mr. and Mrs. Gilmore. All right, to those who must know. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Y'all chilling?
Hey.
Chilling.
Okay, and we're here in Tampa Bay, Florida. And Alex and I actually know each other for a couple years now.
Yes.
We met while she was teaching at Crunch, and I loved her classes, kept taking it until, like, I don't know what happened. You know, I'll be going in and out. Sometimes we're working out.
Yeah.
But I've known you for a while.
Yes.
And I remember when we first met, you know, we're chilling cool, and then we realized that we lived at the same complex.
Yes.
And then one day we just all happened to be at the pool.
Sure did.
And that was the day early on that you were talking about the issues that you were having at school with your son.
Yep.
And this was before everything blew up within the past year.
Yes.
So I've known that you've had issues with the kids and everything in school. So talk about, number one, just who y'all are.
Okay.
And, you know, talk about just your family life. And, you know, you have two beautiful boys. And just talk about that, and then we'll get into what really brought you here.
So Caleb is 12 years old. Bryce is 7 years old. So.
No, who's Alex first?
Oh,
you know, y'all were individuals before y'all had the babies. I know parents like that's all y'all got now.
You forget. You're like, so I'm
y'all
a mom,
right?
I'm a mom, and I'm Bryce's
Who's
mom.
Alex?
So
Alex?
I'm Alexandra. Go by Alex. A mom, but I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But
where did Alex go to school?
So educated. I graduated. I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Born and raised. Moved to Tampa to go to college. I started HEC, and then I went to USF. Graduated in 2005. From there, I had Caleb. From there, as I had Caleb, I worked on my master's at Nova Southeastern University in education. My bachelor's was in communications, public communications, and teaching and learning at Nova Southeastern University, and Master of Science.
Okay.
So going forward, I always kind of, not always, but as going forward after my son, I kind of like was intrigued into the educational system, but kind of moved back, and that's how I started doing the fitness thing. It worked well. Why I was a mother of two boys at that time, and started teaching fitness at St. Leo University. And so I met plenty of students, and so got more involved with students, and then started teaching at Crunch, Shapes. I've taught everywhere from Moffitt Cancer Center to now LA Fitness. So I've taught everywhere, and still currently teaching fitness classes on the side.
Okay.
Going forward, after that, just being a mom, being confused about the educational system on how it changed, how it's not like when I graduated from high school in 1999. So it's changed so much that the word verbiage has changed, the understanding of the context has changed, so much that it allowed me to say, I can't take it anymore, that I need to see when a teacher uses the word as text evidence, claim, pieces. These words don't make sense when you're talking to, as my son at that time was a fourth grader. Yeah. And so when you're getting emails and it says, you need to teach your son the text evidence, the claim, the thesis, things of that nature, you're totally confused. And you're reading an email and I'm like, I have a bachelor's degree and I have a master's degree. And so that's what has brought me to, I started tutoring within the educational system, and then I started substitute teaching in the educational system to understand more in depth of what was going on for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I'm now here, going a little bit deeper. And so that's kind of my background story on how I'm here.
All right, cool. So you can start the watch party now.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right.
Who are you? Say your name again so we all can catch it. And how do we get to know you?
All right. My name is Nkosi Gilmore. I'm from Tampa. Went to Hillsborough High School, graduated. Then transitioned, went to college, went to ACC, played baseball at the community college. Then transitioned to the University of South Florida. Got my degree in chemistry. So it's pretty much been a straight line with going to school and playing sports. Me and Alex been married for about almost 20 years now.
Hey. Alex, why you dropping? Shoot.
Not 20 years yet, but we
13 years.
It feels like 20 years.
Alex was like,
We've known each other for 20 years.
She was like, give me a couple years. Come on. We're not that old.
Not today.
All right, so we've been married for 13 years, and
oh, he got jokes. He got real jokes. I was like,
20. We're not that old. We're older, but not that old.
But I've been in the corporate world with Humana for about 13 years, working as a manager. But also at the same time been involved with kids as well in the community, mainly with sports. And right now I'm at the Skills Center, but also helping in the urban areas as well with the kids with transition with baseball as well. And Alex has brought me along. At first, I was not educated on the situations that were going on in school. Being that you're growing up 20 years, 30 years ago, things are totally different on how they teach kids compared to now. And that has now instructed me to be a little bit more passionate on my drive now to help in Alex's quest on how we can inform those parents that don't know. Yeah,
because the reason I really wanted to get to know y'all, because everybody always try to paint Black parents who are trying to be involved as, oh, they're being extra, they're this and that. No, these are regular people who just happen to regularly meet each other, fall in love, get married, now have kids, and now you're having an issue and you're trying to address the issue. And I'm sure you said that people had tried to tear you down, came at you reckless and all this stuff. It's like, hold up, no, this is not a ghetto baby mom type situation. Because that's some of the narrative people will try to paint. Oh, you're being aggressive. What? Oh, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, he has active. So you're two boys. So now we can talk about your two boys. Okay, so their names are Caleb and Bryce.
Caleb and Bryce.
Bryce, sorry, I think boys. Bryce. Okay, so talk about them. Let's get to know them a little bit.
So, as any typical parent, your first one goes in the school system, you're excited, nervous. You're 5 years old, it's kindergarten, you drop off the first day, And so you get to meet the teacher, so you're going forward just, that your child is not stupid, there's no issues. He's been in, VPK, you've paid for daycares and done all the type of learning skills that you would, want to do to advance your child going into the educational system. Within a few months, Caleb has what they said a sensory problem. He needs an IEP, and I know plenty of parents have heard of an IEP. So an IEP is an individual educational plan that allows your child to be able to have special treatment that is needed. And we're going to make this structural plan that fits his needs. So going further, realize what the IEP plan entails. You're sold on something that says, sounds good, my child might be suffering a little bit, sold. But I was one of those parents like, no, I know my child. What's technically wrong with
What's
him?
the sensory issue?
What's a sensory issue? The sensory issue was that he didn't want to touch marbles.
That's not something
that
like
he did, marbles. Okay, I don't want to touch grass. Okay, but that was what she said, right? Okay, so that he had a sensory problem for marbles. Then it went from when I said, well, no, he touches marbles and plays with balls. He's very sport. We've always been at the YMCA. He played basketball, baseball, soccer. I'm like, no, he has a problem with touching little things. So then they said it was a speech problem. Then it went to comprehension, and it just it was something constantly,
always something, all
at the age of 5. So we had, good thing we had Humana insurance, because we had to go and seek out and go to the doctor and had all these testing, but everyone doesn't have that same opportunity.
And let's talk about that, because a lot of people, if they don't have the opportunity themselves through employment and having great insurance, they have to rely on the schools
to say
the thing. So that means that they're having their neurologists, if they have it, their psychiatrists, psychologists, everybody else through the school, again through the federal and state government and local government, are going to be involved in your child's life to write out what is wrong with your child. And you as a parent, if you're not involved, just kind of take it because you don't have access to your own insurance to do so. But keep going.
Yes, correct.
Look,
No, it's true. It's exactly what it was.
But it is.
It's the fact that we were the parents that could say, no,
yeah.
we're not going to go for
and you went and got a second, third, fourth opinion.
Yeah. They said, so we had to do a little bit of a speech type of thing. But what was told to us was that the test that they give to students is much harder at the school than it is normally outside the school. So definitely at that time, at age 5, they were giving a harder test. So that's why the kids, per se, don't comprehend.
Yeah.
So if you put in trickery words that are a little bit more not age appropriate, you're not going to understand and comprehend them. He was fine. We went on. We're done. No IEP plan. We opted out. We're not. But that was based on the fact that we had
at 5 years old.
At 5 years old.
At 5 years old.
But from there, it's always been something comprehension.
Let me add something to it. You know, with the IEP plan, we were parents who were fully involved.
Yeah.
With the kids' lives, we were that parent that were there tutoring them, educating them, doing their alphabet.
You're doing all that stuff at home.
So as my wife was saying, as he entered the kindergarten phase, as a parent, you're happy. Yeah. Your first day, you know, your kids are entering that stage of life where they're now living in nest. Yeah. And what my wife was explaining is that as he's entering the kindergarten, you know, I hate to say it, but he's entering a world where, you know, unfortunately there's teachers that don't look like him. Yeah. So he's now having to relate to a teacher that doesn't look like him, that may not understand.
Relate to him in the way mom or somebody else.
Sometimes the teacher doesn't understand him. They see things, and that's where the sensory comes in, and maybe categorizing him as having an issue with sensory. As a parent, you're saying to yourself, I've never heard of this thing called sensory. So now you're having a confrontation of what's going on. Yeah. And at home, you're like, my child is perfectly fine. Yeah. He reads fine. He knows his ABCs. He knows how to count to 1 to 100.
Yeah, he's making those milestones that you guys have researched.
Young kid yourself, he has all those accolades in himself already. So you're entering an environment now that it appears as though they're trying to break him down slowly. So that's where now as parents, unfortunately, being us educated, we were able to kind of grasp and say, no. We have the insurance to be able to go ahead and challenge this and step forward. So.
Okay. So as a father, though, right? Because a lot of people try to make it seem like, okay, moms are the ones who are most involved. But no, I've seen you with the boys, especially at the pool, man. He's awesome. But the thing is, talk about that as far as fatherhood, you know, because in this space, in this world, they try to diminish the black father's presence, number one. And then they try to make it seem like, okay, well, you're not at the forefront of your child's education. You're playing with them. You're doing everything. You're advocating for them. So talk about that from your perspective.
I come from a background. My father was heavily involved in my life. And from that transition to me now being heavily involved in my kids' life. I am a parent as well as my wife. My wife, we were both involved. So as a father, you definitely want to push him to be his best, be the greatest kid he can be, enjoy life, and that's part of what he's supposed to be. Yes, I do know that that in the environment that we live in, there's a stigma that says that black fathers are absent in the household. And I can tell you that's not true. Yeah. Just because a parent may not be, maybe the mother and father are split. Yeah. Most of the individuals that I know in the area of Tampa, most of the fathers are involved. Very. But there's a big stigma about black fathers not being involved in a kid's life. And I'm heavily in sports, and I can tell you that they're not just involved in the sports; they're also involved in academics. So as far as myself, as a black father, you don't want him to face the obstacles that he may. You try to shield him from those things as
a parent would.
As a parent, would. So, I mean as a black father, just you I experience it every day in the corporate world. I can see it, so I kind of prepare him for that. Yeah. So. I don't know if that makes sense.
But no, it does. It does.
At a young age already to begin. Yeah. What you already know is going to come on at an older age is ridiculous. That you're 5. Yeah. And you're already trying to embed him with those.
They try to break him down. Like that was the word you said, break him down. That's like, hold up, what's going on? Yeah. How? But I totally understand because we were talking about before the field that I work in. We have people from a very young age who had that stigma. Well, you know, at a young age they were diagnosed with this, and the school put them in this, and they've had IEPs since they were kids, and then by the time they get to high school, and then keep having it, only for sometimes for us to get with them, people who are providers. there's nothing wrong with him.
Nothing wrong.
There is nothing wrong with him. But then those who truly needed it, those resources are not available to them. So let's go. Let's see. I don't even know what time it is. Child, we coming up on our break actually because we going in. I'm like, all right, I was about to transition to a whole nother thing. But we're about to take our break. If y'all have any questions for Mr. and Mrs. Gilmore, okay, these are parents advocating for not just their children, but other children within the education system, especially here in Hillsborough County in Florida. Drop it in the comments, or you can call 813-444-9588. Yeah, just come talk to us, chat up. So we'll be right back. All right, this is Goddess Talk. Let me see. If y'all have any comments, I can't see it on Facebook particularly, but I can see it here on IG. Our school's curriculum, absolutely Detroit D-Town. Kayla's in there.
Caleb said, we're hearing you on In Touch. Bryce is listening. Well, he's actually enthusiastic about it too.
Aw. So we have a couple comments exactly why we need our home schools. I agree. We'll talk about that.
I know when people say homeschool, but it's not
always
the case that everybody can't be at home.
Yeah.
And everyone's not educated.
Child.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what I said.
Yeah.
For me particularly. Yeah. I'm not a teacher.
Yes. Right.
That's just not my forte.
No.
I can have fun and I could
right.
But even as a kid, I didn't care. I hated school. Like, let's just be honest.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that with my own kid. But what I do believe is purchasing services, right? Mm-hmm. So if I know that there is somebody educated in that specific field, I will put my child in there. Yeah, it's yours. Okay. That's yours too. Okay. Miss Darryl, you want a water?
Yes,
nah, you didn't have to look at my water like that. Just you just looked at it like you was salty a second. God dang, I can't hydrate y'all. Can't give y'all no black excellence. Water.
I'm over there like,
well, they about to hit you with the coronavirus.
I know. I'm like, it's allergy. I'm in Tampa.
So, oh my God, they doing the worst. But what I've seen is that I would rather bring someone in who's well versed in that, right?
Yep.
If I want my children to learn, if I wanted someone to learn, my child to learn about, farming and everything, I would bring someone who is, a grower. Yep. And if I wanted to learn chemistry or whatever, I would all right. But what I believe, because everybody tries to make it seem like, okay, we have to have our own schools. We do need our own schools. Yeah. But sometimes we don't have the resources to do so. That's what I said too. But there's nothing wrong that, hey, okay, we all decide we want to homeschool. We can split it all between our houses. So one day my kid is over at y'all house, they're doing this. Right. The next day, all right, your turn. So we may only be taking one day a week to do something. Right. Or not taking any days off because we might hire somebody amongst us to always be there to care for our children. Right. But people don't think outside the box. I think outside the box all the time.
I said, even if they're still, because I feel like, still homeschooling is not for everyone.
Yeah.
But tutoring centers with older people that are that have retired, because really the system,
the educators who are retired,
the older retired that can come in on Saturday twice a month, and then be able to teach those kids, that would be beneficial.
That's better.
Yeah.
So hey y'all, this is Balaji. This is Goddess Talk. We are here with Alice and Nkosi. Say it again for me, Cozy. Nkosi. I almost got it. Nkosi. I just gotta put I-N, and then that might work it. That's the phonetic way for me to make sure I say Nkosi. There we go. So we are here with Mr. and Mrs. Gilmore, who are not just advocating for their own children, but all children within the Hillsborough County, or just children in general in the education system. So you started talking about how at 5 years old they try to put your son under this umbrella, like, oh, he has this and has that, and y'all was like, pump your brakes. That's not my child. I know what I do personally at home. I know certain things, right? And there's some parents who are in denial, and then their kids may really have something. So we're not going to try to, brush that. But you knew your child, and you knew your particular situation. So now let's talk about, in the education system, not everybody looks like us. And not only do they not speak like us, they may not relate to us. Because I remember somebody posted just in general that, our kids go to white schools and white women don't treat our kids like a black mother or black sister would treat our kids. Why we might look at them like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They would know to stop, you know what I'm saying? Or, you say certain things, we know amongst ourselves what that means. Right. But for other people, it might be aggression. It might be this. A boy who is just boisterous, okay, who is just loving life and active does not mean he has ADHD or hypertension or all those things. but they don't recognize that. They're not actually utilizing the tools that, as educators, they should have at their disposal to engage our children. So talk about that. Talk about just having 2 boys. That's a lot of work.
Right. I mean, boys are active. I mean, so when you're asking everyone to go into a classroom and be the same, that's not going to happen.
It's not possible.
If you have a black girl, white girl, whoever race, girls are totally different.
Yeah.
They're going to sit down, they're going to color, and they're going to...
I wasn't that girl, though, by the way.
And that's exactly right, because there are...
I was jumping.
But
Yes,
there are some that... But boys are they're gonna run and wrestle. They don't want to. They might not like to read. You're gonna have all those type of things. So to try to categorize them in one type of curriculum that's one size fits all, it's not true. Yeah. But that's how the curriculum is set up. One size fits all. Everyone should be able to test. Everyone should be able to test with timing. You should be able to read in a certain way. You should be able to be intrigued in the articles that we give. You should be able to write a certain way, but that's not true. So when you have black boys, automatically they're a threat. Yeah. Because black boys are going to be black men.
Yeah. I think what's missing is when you have a teacher that looks like yourself, you're missing the love that a teacher that looks like you can give. Yeah. When a teacher, and not saying that a teacher doesn't like you can't.
Absolutely.
You can relate.
I've had some great white teachers.
Yeah,
I'm not going to knock it. Like, look, we've had
I
teachers from all
like
spaces.
Really
you know
good.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but there is another thing where you just get that from your own.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing from me.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more of non-black teachers in the educational system with black children. I mean, I hate to say it. And so if you're absent of a mother, you're absent of a father, and this is the only type of place that you come and get some type of love, you would like to have someone that looks like you, because that's the person that you're missing. You're not missing someone that's a non-black person. You're missing that black mother that birthed you. You're missing that black father I'll have kids that even when I walk into my own son's school, they're like, hey, Miss Bryce mom, hey, I get hugs. I go and I dance at the dance. They're looking at that like, look at Bryce's mom. And they'll say, are you going to come to the next dance? Caleb's mom. And they're always looking for that. And so when you're in an area like my area, in the New Tampa area, and there's not a lot of black families, and there's like only, one person that might be on the PTA that they allow to be on the PTA.
Oh, it's allowed.
That allow to be on the PTA. And then they don't want you to be on the PTA. Then there's that's what's missing, because you need those events that are cultural. So you have those gaps, and you feel like, should I move out the area? But don't we deserve to be entwined to all races? So,
but what were you saying? Because you were talking about in general, having someone who looks like us. There's a different love that we get. So keep going with your thought process from that. She jumped in, I know. She's like, hold on. I was like, I want to make sure I get the final thought. I want to make sure I get the final thought on that.
Yeah, you don't have the same. I know that when you have someone that is of the same culture, the care is a little bit more stronger. But I will say that with you lacking a diverse teacher population, especially with little brown and black girls, who do you have to look up to in the education system? Why would you strive to be a teacher? There's no one that looks like you. But at the adverse reaction to that is you think that they're, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're always around teachers that are of white, right? You start to think that they're your savior. Does that make sense?
That savior complex is real. Because I have a lot of friends who are educators. And a lot of them tell me that the reason they became teachers is because they didn't have anybody like them to be there when they were kids. So they would like to have someone like them now for the next generation. And that's really inspiring, because you don't have a point of reference.
Right.
We didn't have a point of reference. We have others, point of reference is, okay, this was a cool teacher, this was this was that. But you didn't have someone who could make sure that we celebrate Black history as we should have. And my thing is, I had some Black teachers who we celebrated all year. So I didn't celebrate Black history. I didn't care for Black History Month, because it's like, hold up, but we do this all year. I had my parents at home where it's like, okay, we ain't nothing but Black all year, so we ain't got no choice. So it's like, I learned a lot from having that kind of diversity in my school. So now we were off, during the break, we're talking about homeschooling, because one of the viewers mentioned the fact that we need our own schools, we need our own educators, we need our own. And I'm 100% for that, right? But you mentioned that, guess what, not all of us have that ability to provide that.
Right.
And I feel like we should continue to think outside the box.
Yes.
Just because we may not have those resources available doesn't mean that 2 or 3 or 4 families don't come together and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Or just that one family figure it out, and guess what? You now bring other people into the fold who want to educate their children. You were mentioning something, which is the retired teachers.
Yes.
A lot of them still want to educate.
Right.
They still want to do certain things. Why aren't we utilizing them or bringing them in? Because guess what? When the elders pass, they take all the knowledge with them.
They do.
And it's really them who is really going to help us push forward. So talk about now the issues that you've had within the past year specifically within the
past
school
year
system.
has been crazy. My son had been bullied. He started middle school last school year, 2019. Middle school, predominantly more white school. Got bullied several times, brought it to the principal's attention, was ignored, brought it to the district's attention, was ignored. Went on the bullying side. I've done it all. Literally things that people probably don't even realize the resources that we can reach. I've done it to only be ignored. Towards the end, my son was he was orchestra student, honor roll student. A boy who had been calling him stupid, retarded, and I've talked about this live before. He got beat up. They recorded him, but he got suspended as well. Said that he provoked. They used the word provoked him.
For the person who's been
bullied,
being
calling
called
him retarded,
name, and you recorded my beatdown,
right.
and I get suspended.
And I get suspended because I went to the nurse office saying that they took the wind out of me. So if I never would have reported because the teacher was absent in the classroom.
Isn't that retaliation
for
if the teacher, reporting?
The teacher didn't see it because he walked out and left the classroom unattended.
Yeah.
And then yet you still write a referral because you took the words of the non-black students.
Yeah.
Because
the group that jumped my
him
son basically.
was
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
So fought that, argued that with the district to only get a civility ban. So I received a civility ban. And if you look up the word civility, and most people probably don't know it because I didn't know it, I had to look it up because they didn't give a definition. It says you weren't nice.
That's basically it.
Me, the mother, wasn't nice.
About my son being
jumped and bullied and bringing these issues to the forefront multiple times throughout the whole school year. And so I wasn't nice enough. And so being with that, it was during summer break. We weren't even in summer.
Yeah.
The whole consequences, everything that happened had been said and done. It was summer break, and I received an email from the district stating that I received a civility ban. So now I'm calling people, contacting email to be blackballed. No information given at all. And so
you hold on, pause. I want to take it back, right? You received a ban as a mother, and what was the ban? Give me what the ban was. We're gonna come to you because as a father, like when your child is beat up, I just remember me and one of my friends were talking a couple of days ago, where it's like, yo, back in the day, you got beat up, they would send you back out there to go take care of it.
That was
don't come back in here crying type situation. And me and my friend were talking today. She's from Brooklyn. She's like, look, I got jumped that one time and I came back and I boomed the next day. You know what I'm saying? But no, you tried, because my parents were the ones who would like tell the teacher, don't fight back. But my butt, I was fighting. Just talk about that. What happens when you just are told by your child that someone has literally touched their person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, look, I'm dragging you, your mom, everybody along. But tell me that. As a black person, Nkosi, I want to hear your perspective, because as a guy, I want to hear that part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you want to know the perspective of how if your child.
Yeah.
How it was a reaction.
What was the reaction for that? Like,
growing up,
look,
it's an eye for an eye. You hit me, you better go back there and you better do your business. So it's a little bit different now. You don't want him to. You want him to understand his boundaries. Right?
Yeah. So,
but also you want him to defend himself.
Yes.
If somebody's invading your space, then you need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So at the same time, as a father, you're trying to teach them these tools to be respectful. But understand that if somebody's invading your space, you know how to defend for yourself.
Yeah. Because I feel like when it comes to men, especially, we're constantly having conversations with our boys on how to.
Not cry.
Not just even that, how to continue to be beaten down,
but still rise.
But still rise, not react. But it's like, hold up, if somebody did something to them, in a heartbeat, they're tearing everything down. But we have to work differently.
Like as a child of color, will he be treated differently? Will he get the same punishment as a kid that's not?
And he's not. He's going to get worse treatment and worse punishment.
And we see it all day.
Yeah.
We see a kid that may be black and do the same thing in school, maybe get in a fight, he's suspended for or
5 or 10 days.
5 or 10 days, and that's why we got upset.
Yeah.
You know, or we see a kid that's color, maybe do the same action against my son, and he gets
or
just
ignored,
a slap on the wrist.
because that had happened multiple times.
Detention.
It was multiple times that things had happened, like he got hit in the head with a bow from the violin. The girl that got no punishment. He had got how many things? It was like so many different things. Oh, he got slapped in the back. The principal laughed with my husband, said, "Oh, it's a slapping game." But then when it comes to Caleb, he tapped him. He said that's provoking. You see the difference of words?
Yeah.
Caleb gets slapped in the back of the knee. He got punished by he got a 0 for the day, had to sit out and not get to be able to participate. But the moment that he tapped somebody with his phone, now you're a provoker. See the words that you just changed when it came to him? It was a fun and game in March. But when it came to May, now he's the aggressor. You see? So we totally saw with
the progression of that.
Just
the terminology is very serious. And if as parents, you're not versed in that, because my thing is I like to define a lot of things. So now I want you to tell me exactly what you meant. Right. And then now when you address them that way, oh, but no. You said he's an aggressor. He's provoking. So what are you doing to me right now? I'm not being aggressive. Right. So because, we're going to play a game, let me show what a game is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do that.
That's like it was. You know? Him, it was a game. When it was the white male student, it was a game. When it came to Caleb, it was provoking.
And that's how everything got started.
Yeah.
So it was multiple occasions, maybe
multiple occasions.
Where my son and maybe another child were involved in some type of incident. And my son didn't react back, but the child
was like,
that was right reacted to my son, and we try to teach him to be respectful.
Right.
Don't.
These are great boys, by the way. I just want to let y'all know, just a couple times that I've met them, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not.
No.
I just remember seeing them. They be playing outside, you know, and it's 2 boys, so they can play with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, okay, older brother, younger sister. Like, they really engaged each other. We're about to take another break. See how quickly this be going? All right, we're just getting started. See, this is why. All right, y'all, this is Balaji. This is Goddess Talk. We'll be right back. 813-444-9588 if you want to drop in some comments. We'll be right back. Yeah, no, let me see.
It'd be so much, though. It'd be
so much. Someone said, speak the word.
What school is this?
Tampa Palms and Liberty Middle School in New Tampa.
Yeah.
Who were the principals?
James Amarati and Marion Lickett.
Who? Those are the teachers?
White? Both white?
The name told you.
But even at King, the principal over there is white. So, you know, even when people are changing schools, she's a white woman at King High School, predominantly black school.
Well, and see, this is always an issue for me. Like, when I see, not saying it's a problem, but if this is a predominantly black school, right, I would think that you would hire somebody who meets the demographic. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Correct. Because the point of reference for that person is going to be different. We were talking about earlier how we had Mr. Clark. Yeah. Look, Lean on Me was real. But that happened in Jersey. That's one thing I want to drop. You know, that's a Jersey fact right there, okay?
Boys become men. Even when my husband went to teaching, goes to the school, they're asking, where's your husband at? They're looking for him to come back. So where's the mentors at anymore? Do you have those coming into the school system?
But this is the thing. I know people who do mentor, right? But this is where I think we have to take a little bit more responsibility outside of those who are trying to, because if nobody's engaging when people are asking for help, that's the thing. Because it's one thing where you can complain. I hate complainers. What is the action?
That's true.
Do not come to me with the same thing. Like, it's one thing where I gotta get it off my chest. Cool, I got it off my chest.
Are you guys advocate of
Hey y'all, this is Balaji. We are back. What's your question?
For blacks.
Advocate of what?
If you have black administrators all the way together.
Teaching our own children.
Well, that's what that goes with the homeschooling and creating our own resource for one another. But I think that's what you have done, because Alex has started a Facebook group. So what's the name of the Facebook group? I shared this live to it. But what's the name of this Facebook group?
Parent Advocators.
Okay. So that's on Facebook.
I have an Instagram and a Facebook.
Okay.
I have Parent Advocators 2020, and then I have the Facebook Parents Advocators advocating for educational changes for academic success of their children.
Okay, so I'll share both of those on my IG later and Facebook. But now you guys were communicating with the school. This is what's happening to my son repeatedly, and until your son really was like tired of it, went and said, "Look, they just aired me out," and now he was jumped, recorded, and it was posted, right?
I would assume, but he
okay.
doesn't have social media, so
but
they told him.
So they recorded it.
Yes.
Okay. And then you had a civility ban as the parent for literally like something happened to my child.
Yes.
So this civility ban was just for you.
Only me personally.
Yeah, because that was the thing. I remember when you were telling me, I was like, hold up,
oh,
what do you mean? So what happened?
We have a male principal that felt the need in the area superintendent to only attack the mama, not the papa.
Okay.
And so maybe because I had more time to be an advocate.
Okay.
So, he works a job. So the person that is the one that chaperones the most, does the tutoring, is involved in the school.
The person that they were visibly
physical,
aware.
Yes, is me.
Okay.
And
they didn't think, did they not know that dad was around, or did they just think?
They knew because any conference that we had, especially this last year, he was there. But I was the one who had learned more about the educational system.
She was the one who would be emailing the principal on why things are not good.
Okay.
So
because a lot of things would be thinking, oh, there must be no guy around, so we could just come at her, not realizing you have your own team, and dad and grandma stepped in. Because I remember when you said, I was like, hold up, because your mom still lives in Orlando, right?
She still lives in Orlando, but if he was working, then she would come to conferences. So it was definitely a family type thing that we're here for the success of Caleb. We're not going to allow him to be deep down. And Bryce. Bryce
out here just feel like,
right. And it's so sad because last year was more about Caleb. When they put so straight on one, you felt like you didn't put so much into the other one, because I'm trying to focus on him. Like, you're drilling him, you're doing this, and this is happening, that Bryce is not getting the educational attention that he needed as well. And so that's how much strain they tried to put, and I felt like they were trying to divide a family at the same time. Because if you're just attacking me and you're like, okay, you're okay, and then you're like, okay, I guess grandma can come in, but then the mama can't come in. So now you're trying to split and divide, and that's what they want. They want black families to be divided, right? Is that the lie that we try to say, that black families can't come in together? Even we want to say the statistics that black men aren't involved.
We try to. We probably. We always try to come in together. Which is probably something that they're not used to seeing.
Absolutely not.
Black parents.
They think we don't come in together. Like, nah.
Good point.
Yeah.
So what was happening with Caleb is he got into some occasions with going back to what was happening before with the kids that were maybe bullying him. And those kids just got a slap on the wrist. Right? Now when Caleb finally reacted back to it, as parents, this is where the suspension came. And we were like, whoa.
The whole year,
Were happening, but when he wasn't the aggressor, the kids that were the aggressor just got a little slap on the wrist and went back to class. But the moment that he became the aggressor and protected himself as I told him to do, then that's when he got a suspension. And that's where we came in and we went to the office and tried to get a better understanding of what's going on. But we weren't getting the answers.
Because they were cold. They were cold as ice.
We went to the office. The assistant principal hadn't even rolled up the
Then they wrote a referral. It was all crazy.
It was a situation where we didn't understand. And that's where we had our differences. Right? Trying to get a better understanding of why is he getting a suspension. Okay, we understand this kid is getting a longer suspension. But this is a kid that in the past nothing's happened, and now you're telling me he's getting a suspension. It made it seem like it was nothing. And I was brought up. I don't want to get no suspension. So that's what we were fighting over.
Okay, so how high did this go? Because this went pretty far.
Oh yeah, this.
Because shout out to Bianca, because that's how. Because I seen your stuff and I would comment or I would like and share, but then it was like you got on with Bianca Goolsby, who's advocating for a lot of the things with the kids these days. So shout out to her.
Yes.
But how high did this go?
So the reason why I had to reach out to Bianca, because all doors were closing. No superintendent would message me back. No area superintendent. Anybody. The superintendent. I even went out to an event that was talking about mental awareness. I spoke at that platform. One of the people from the district, she lied to me and told me that she would contact me. And so she said, email me personally. When I tell you, no one would address the issue at all.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. And when my husband finally had email, they sent a lawyer to respond to his email. So this is
Ty is the superintendent.
yeah.
Tamara Schumer.
Well,
Tamara
she's on the school board,
Yes,
but
Tamara, she ignored. See her, she ignores.
basically,
yeah.
we reached out to
Everybody in the
possible.
district. Everybody in the district.
Wrote multiple emails, no
emails, called, went to a board meeting, talked
then what happened
to
was
Dan
the
Peterson.
principal himself reached out to the area superintendent, who I think contacted my wife via email. Is that right? And
She wrote up the area superintendent.
is the one
The civility ban.
She wrote the civility ban.
Okay.
And so after that,
After never responded to you the whole time.
after responding at all,
Nothing.
and then I got a civility ban, and then after that, asking questions about, well, how long does it last? Is it the summer? Can I go to his open house?
Yeah.
Nothing. School's starting. No answers.
No,
No
no.
nothing. Now it's school starting because this is June, so now it's August. Still nothing. Going to a board meeting. Still nothing. Peterson, talked to him. He sent me back to the area superintendent. Still nothing. Just games.
But this is how everything got started.
Yes, and that's where
This is
Bianca
where
came
her
in.
came.
That I started talking to, when I went live on Bianca's page because it was like there was nothing else. And so even though district still watched her page,
Nothing.
still nothing. Still nothing.
Okay.
So now after being the area superintendent sending condescending emails to tell me that my
Who's this area supervisor?
this is Dr. Anna Brown.
Okay.
And so my voice,
Because the thing is, I personally don't have children, all right? And then because I don't have children, I'm not as aware of certain things. So I want to make
Right.
sure, because
That you
these names
understand.
matter for those who may not
who
be
don't know
aware.
that you know
what I'm saying? Because
area 3 superintendent.
so I didn't realize those are
There's
all
an Area
breakdowns
3,
because
yes.
from Jersey, from ours, I think ours is really just, city based. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So now you guys have specific
Right,
areas,
so area 3
regions,
is
all
New
that.
Tampa to King High School
Okay.
to Slide Middle School sport, but to Greco to Fowler.
Okay.
So it's a big area.
Okay.
To Wharton High School.
No, because
it's a big area.
for Tampa itself,
Mm-hmm.
our county in New Jersey, Burlington County, Tampa, city of Tampa, is as big as our county. So that's why I was like, I want to make
Right,
sure you guys are
yes,
giving that
yes.
information because my audience is also from different areas
Right,
too.
yes.
So this got to a very high person
Right.
within the chain of command.
Right into the
Still
district.
ignored.
Yes.
You met with advocates, still ignored. So what happened after that?
We pretty much just waited it out. I
Okay.
got just condescending emails that my tone needed to be kind and nice. If my tone through email perceived was not nice,
Yeah.
that could further the ban.
Okay.
So I needed not to be condescending.
Okay.
I needed not to be smart. I needed not to be talk about my race. It was plenty of emails
Okay.
that Anna Brown sent, and she would say, "Well, today your email, your tone was of more better nature. Basically, you're more nicer." I'm a grown adult. I'm 39 years old, and you're talking
Because
to
the
me
way I
as
want to
if
respond
right,
is
exactly.
like,
So you're right. So you're putting me. Now you're provoking.
Yeah.
Right at this point, you're provoking.
But
So,
this is gaslighting.
yes, you're
Let's
provoking
just
me.
term it what it really is.
Right.
Is gaslighting
Right.
someone to get a reaction.
This is what to get
into because she was already involved in the school.
Always.
This
From the
kind of lit
PTA,
the
the whole
flame
thing.
of her now starting to do her research and now starting to learn more about how does the education system work.
For our
what
children.
are things that we're noticing that need to be changed within the education system that a lot of parents don't even know is going on when it comes to school lunch, when it comes to the curriculum of how it's being taught, how kids are being categorized in the grade of 3 and up, and they're stuck in that categorization all the way to the graduate.
Yeah.
Now they need certain things to graduate before they even.
And we're talking about certain things.
And even the
Right.
money too,
Right.
because
It's-
because right now there's this whole coronavirus situation.
Right.
You will never see me really talk about
I
this
know,
foolishness.
yeah. Right.
But you posted the fact that they, I guess, have sent an email
Emails
or
out
something
to parents asking to donate. So there's somewhere where the money's going because
Yeah, where's the money going?
but our school asks for a Caleb school. They asked parents to donate TVs. TVs.
Yeah.
During Black Friday, buy
Yeah.
a TV because the school needs TVs. Where's the tax dollars going?
Yeah.
Why do I need to buy a TV to donate a TV
Yeah.
to my son's school in the New Tampa area?
Yeah.
Because what that's perceived as, it's a money area.
Yeah.
But the money isn't going into the school. So where's
But
the
even
money
lunches,
going? Lunches are small
certain
portion.
things.
It's just when I tell you no books, no technology. People believe that there's technology. There are there's no technology in Hillsborough County.
Okay.
Do not believe the hype. There is not technology going on to the schools.
Yeah.
Public school.
In public schools.
Yeah.
To be in Orange County, where I'm from, that They give them laptops and computers to take for the whole year so they can do work at home and do technology. That is not here in Hillsborough County.
Okay.
They expect students to have telephones, and that's why phones are allowed in the classroom, which is the distraction. So when you have phones, what is the guarantee that they're getting on the Google site to Google whatever it is other than social media?
Yeah.
So now you have headphones in and you're listening to music. So this is all distracting to children's education. So you should have computers, but that's right. Where's the money going?
Okay. So I'm trying to find a solution in this, right? Or find a way that we can move forward, right? Because up till now, you play the waiting game and nothing has been done. Caleb is back in school.
Caleb's in school. Oh, we've waited. No, we've waited now. Now in January, it's been lifted. I was nice enough.
January, after almost 6+ months?
Right, from June to January. No, February to February.
Okay.
I was nice enough. Through email. I was nice enough.
And so now you could actually go up to your child's school.
I can go. And I have yet not to go because at first they said, she still gave me a list of rules that
you could not.
I could not. And then she came back and changed it and said I can.
Okay. And this is your child's school. You cannot come up to your... It's not like you have a restraining order. You've done something physically to anybody.
No, I actually even called the TPD and went up to the downtown office to ask them. The
Tampa Police Department,
right.
by the way.
Because she was basically fighting them.
What the secrecy of what they didn't want people to know. Right.
Okay. So, what would your... I want to make sure I get this point across, right? What would you say to other parents who are having issues with their schools? Because now you do have certain groups, but sometimes you're not aware that there's groups out there that are helping. So what can be done? How can people, number one, find you? Say the name of the group again, the two groups, Facebook and Instagram.
On Instagram, it's Parent Advocators 2020. On Facebook, it's Parents Advocating for academic success and educational changes.
Okay.
And then just Google me, Alexa
Gilmore.
M.Gilmore.
Okay.
Find that, Alexa M.Gilmore. But outside of that, what I feel like people get quiet because they feel like they're alone.
We're about to take our last break, right? Okay. This is our last break. So if y'all want to join in on the conversation, 813-444-9588. This is Goddess Talk. We'll be right back. Let me see. Because you know how... There's a couple different events that I want to do for kids, right? Okay. Because I just remember that growing up, I'm the oldest of 4. So it was like, there was kids around. There was always kids, and my cousins,
right.
5 of them, and the other cousins 5. Like, there was always a horde of us when we went anywhere. And so our parents were active in having us do things. Right. And I feel like, you know how they say now, the kids these days aren't outside playing, they're not this, they're not that, which is actually very true for most people. But it's like, all right, we're always waiting for somebody else to create something for us. And it's like, my thing is like, by the time I have kids, I already want the stuff in place. Amen. So I was like, nah, because I don't want to be thinking about this and then trying to worry. And I was like, it's because I don't want to be bothered. Like, that's my thing. I don't want to be bothered. So let me do some of the front work now before that happens. But the events that I was trying to put together was going to be not just like, okay, girls, I want to do some things for girls so that they can have that girl time, some things for boys, because I think a lot, especially for our men, by the time they get to a certain age, they lose touch with each other. And then it's like, you see guys who can't talk, who don't express themselves. Yeah. And it's not saying it's not their fault. It's just like, that's how they were raised. That was their environment. They didn't have that. So if we can get it and hit it from the forefront as children, we shouldn't have that problem where they can engage with each other and have fun with each other. Then you always have those friendships throughout life. Because my cousins are still my best friends. Some of the kids that I play with as kids we're still good. We, as adults, you'll have other friends, but you'll always still have that childhood situation. You have that memory, right? So it's like, I want them to have fun and stuff that's kid friendly, because now that everything's so over sexualized that they can't just jump around and have fun. They can't just go to the theme park and go here, go there.
They can't. You're right.
Hey, y'all, we are back on Goddess Talk. And so you have the two groups on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to post that. So just share it to me, and then I'll post that. We have to figure something out because, like I said, I don't have kids, so my point of reference is pretty limited. I don't have that, not saying I don't have that care. I just don't, that's not my everyday reality, right? But as somebody who works within the field of, developmental disabilities and who's dealt with a lot of adults who are still childlike, we need different activities to engage our children, especially as Black people. We need to make sure that they do have a core group that they're always around, because now they do go to different schools. But guess what? They may live in one neighborhood, but they may not know each other.
That's true.
They may go to private school. Like one of my great friends, she went to a private school she went to Holy Cross. This is in Jersey, right? While the rest of us, we were living in Willingboro, so we still went to Willingboro, elementary, middle school, and high school. But she didn't have that camaraderie within the neighborhood because she went to a different school, a private school, white school, all that. But it's like, so she had that disconnect. But now as an adult, she's trying to get back with everybody. Like, number one, we all grew up in the same area, so we should still have that camaraderie. So I feel like, within Tampa, there are a lot of great parents who are trying to do different things like y'all. But if we can all come together, instead of everybody doing separate little things, because that's always the issue, and it gets to egos, and I want us to break through that, like I ain't got no time. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do always want people to just come together. Like there's nothing wrong with, everybody wants their name on something. It's really not that serious.
It's
like,
not.
Can we just do this and it really be for the kids? You know what I'm saying? Can it really just be for the kids?
Can it be that?
Not about the egos.
Right,
not about, the parent,
right.
Not about the administrator or whatever. So, whichever way, just let me know what's going on. If I could share whatever it is, I'll share. If I could show up, if I could find, because you mentioned something about advocates and mentors, right? Actually, I don't know if he's ready to drop this information yet, but I know somebody who's trying to do a lot of different mentorship in local schools. So I'll get that information to you. But there's other people who are asking for mentors, who are trying to set up groups, who are working on just different things for different people. Some of it is in St. Pete. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this is supposed to be Tampa Bay. Right. But again, it's not saying that people don't know. Right. Let's just bring it across, the Bay. So what would your hope or wish be for just what you're doing right now?
So my hope would be that eventually, like, parents would become, more outspoken when they see that, okay, something might not be working with my child, and not be afraid to share it, not to feel like it's only my child, because that's someone else's story too. We have to stop being ashamed, stop feeling like, okay, no, that's not my kid, not to even say there's nothing wrong with Caleb and Bryce. They're excellent students, but even if they were, so what? There's someone else that's dealing with the same issues. So to be able to be more open, to connect, to be able to be more well-rounded and come together as one, like you just said. What I would like for a goal to be, because the curriculum is just trash altogether. It's not benefited children. It's too much testing. You're judging kids before they even walk into the classroom. So I would like for the community, like older teachers, as we were saying, to come together, and maybe if it's once or twice a month, be able to come and just teach the kids. It's not tutoring, because they're not teaching anymore. It's all test-based. It's all about assessments and drilling them for that test, that assessment. So they're not being taught. So we need our kids to be taught, because at the end of the day, even if you don't plan to go to college, you should still have the option to be qualified to be able to go to college. But we're losing that when you're saying that kids have a GPA of 1.5, 0.75. These are GPAs you've never heard of before. But that's what's going on now.
But they want them to test and test,
and that they're shutting down.
And I always hated those testing. Because my thing is, I was always a verbal person. I hated taking tests. Them daggone SATs. Like, I took them things like 4 times. Oh my gosh.
And now that's
annoying.
a requirement to graduate if you can't pass the FSA reading.
Okay, FSA is down here.
But they said the FSA is harder than the SAT. That's a problem. So when you have a child that needs an FSA reading and that's to graduate, and you cannot graduate, there are kids right now that are nervous they can't graduate. Our children, Black children, that are nervous. It's 3 months until graduation, that have not been able to pass maybe one part of the FSA reading. And then they had to take the SAT this week. And then they have to take the ACT. But I only have a 2.0. And to get into USF now, it's a 4.0. So you see
from high school?
From high school. So you see the
you
games
need a
that we're
4.0 from high school to get into
so there's
this. Okay, so USF is Is this a local?
University
No.
of South Florida.
I know.
Yes.
No, I know what it is. I
I'm
finally
saying for those.
learned what USF
Yeah, I was like,
is.
for those who don't
But
know.
I mean, like, it's not a county college. This is a state university, right? So there's state costs. This is not a private university. Is USF private?
No.
So you need a 4.0 to go into the state university, where number one, the cost will be much better than going to a private school, or maybe even an out of state school. How does that benefit? Well, it benefits certain people, and some people have access to that. That's crazy. I'm just learning that.
And so that's the mental games that a lot of kids think they're going
to college. And this is new. This is
all new that they've changed. Well, made it worse. More they say the word rigorous. That's what the district used. That needs to be with the Department of Education rigorous. We want the curriculum to be rigorous.
Okay, that's a negative connotation.
Right, and so we talk about rigorous and not attainable,
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about a child that's been in school for multiple years and they're forced to go to school to not receive your diploma, high school diploma, that's injustice.
So, Nkosi, what would you like to get out of this whole situation for yourself, for your children, for other parents, children as well?
I would like to see parents have a place to go if their children are maybe struggling in school or they need answers. Where can they go? And right now I think parents may, and I know my wife talks to a lot of parents in the Hillsborough County area, where kids may be struggling in school, or a parent may be having an issue with discipline that's being done in their child's school, they feel it's not right, they don't know where to go.
And they don't want to play with the games of those who are within the system. They need an outside source for that.
So we need some type of group to come together that parents feel that they can come to and be able to express their obstacles that they're facing and be able to figure out how to solve them.
Right, because we don't know all the answer. I know some things, like I said, my mother, she's giving me answers and just reaching out to people like Bianca. So that was the whole purpose of the group, to have people to feel like, I can come into this group and talk about what my child is dealing with and find other sources that I might not know what to do. It's just like you can go online and put in make a complaint to the district about bullying. You'll have a lifeline to know that what's going on with your child, so they can't avoid it as much if you're just only emailing the principal. When it's time that the principal's not doing anything, you can go outside the principal.
And I feel like these groups specifically, because my thing is I'm action. I don't complaining and just talking. You're wasting my time, number one. That's the one way to waste my time. Like the one thing F stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have time for that, you know what I'm saying? I want you to, what's the point? Let's get to the point. So I would hope, I guess, with these groups that are out there or trying to get out there with the group, that once people make those complaints, like, you take it as a list and you bring it to the principal, you bring it to whoever, because now this is a chain of command situation. And you have to think about it like in the corporate world, right? This is HR. You have to create your own HR to run these school districts as parents. All right. So thank you, Alex and Nkosi, for being here. This has Got Us Talk. We'll be back next week. We got to keep this conversation going. So I'll post everything on my IG and Facebook for y'all. But if y'all tune in next week, it's a different topic. Y'all have a great weekend, great evening. Peace.
Bye.
Ciao.